Like I subscribe to news channels, so let me see what my subscriptions be telling me. Uh, Kendra G scam has finally been discovered. Shout out to Oshay Duke Jackson for that. Wait, what scam does Kendra G like? Yo, what scam does Kendra G have? Okay,
Let's
I'm curious.
assume I was going to sell you a pair of shoes at a price of $50. You examine the shoes, you agree to the sale, and we decide to meet at a gas station. I pull up, you say hello, and you pull out your $50.
Yeah.
I say, bruh, what's the $50 for? And you're like, well, this is what we agreed to. Oh no, see, the price is now $75.
Huh?
Then you
What?
said, no, bro, like, that doesn't make sense. That's $25 more than what I asked. And then I say, well, I have another seller that's gonna sell me at $75. So that's the reason why. So if you want the shoes, it's gonna be $75. You only get $50 on you. You say, okay, wait right there. I'll go to the ATM. You go to the ATM, you take out some more money, you give me the $75, and I say, the price of the shoes is now $100. You decide to do the one thing that will even the score. That's right.
Yeah.
You almost think about shooting me, but you just go in your car and leave because you understand one thing now. If you give me the $100, I'll just change the price to $125. And there's no point in the conversation where that price is going to be the same until the person just decides they want to stop. That is what we call moving the goalposts. And many of you guys have understood this when you debate people or you're in relationships with people. You can never really hit the goal that they want because they move the goalposts for you and never for them. And unfortunately, in the black dating world, this seems to be a problem of black women. Let's take Kendra G for an example, shall we? When it comes to black men and looking for black men, she easily uses this argument.
The requirement is my energy. The requirement is for me to make time for you. I run a whole company, okay? So if I have to make time for you, if I have to schedule you in, if I have to alter my life, you will never be the prize. And I know my worth so much. That is why it's not about, why can't Kendra get a man? No, honey, why can't a man get Kendra?
She's the prize. You're not worthy. And then,
you ain't got enough money in the bank for my life. Your penis is not big enough for the sacrifice for my life. There ain't an access you can give me that I cannot get on my own that is worth the sacrifice of my life. And that's just a fact.
Now, your penis is too small. You have all of these limitations.
Right.
But when it comes to dating her, she has money. She has a business. You have a little penis. You're broke.
Wow.
You're not worth her. There's the issue.
He's right, you know.
Wow.
But then Kendra G was recently at an Essence festival, which she was with some.
Nobody really made noise about Essence Fest this year. I got that from the Professor of Truth. You should subscribe to his channel, bro. Dude's dope. Dude is dope. He really gives you, he's really about the black consciousness. He's all about like Black America, and he really speaks from the heart, bro. And I really feel his message. I feel his message.
One by the name of I Am Truth Hurts 257, and he described the problems that rich women have with dealing with successful black men. And he said,
asking for, but that could be a challenge too, because we'll get women that literally do make $300,000, literally does have her own home. So now that's her requirement for a man. And if you go as a man, sometimes that man that matches her wage doesn't always select her in a romantic way.
Woo! Now, this response was very interesting because the bragging that we heard Kendra G talk about was completely disarmed. And while being moderately wealthy or successful is important for a male or a female, that's not the only thing that's important. You're a woman when you have money. There are other things that you need to provide value for, because a man, obviously, that's successful does not need your money. But I thought that was interesting because when Kendra G described who a high value man was, she said this.
Let's define high value, because I don't like the term high value, because usually high value is predicated on money, access, looks. I like the word high demand, because high demand, yes, the man with the money, the looks is desired by a lot of women. But when we say value, that's an individual thing. It goes back to what I just said a second ago. Value to me is the person that shows up for you. So you can know a rich man, he could be fine, but does he show up for you? He's actually a no value man, if you think about it that way. So we gotta rewrite this high value slogan, because that's the misconception, and that's why men are walking around with an S on their chest, because they feel like they got the money.
Now, when Kendra G is forced to acknowledge a male counterpart as herself, she doesn't like the term high value man. But remember, if she was speaking about herself, she would clearly use the self-characterization of a high value woman, because she believes that a high value man being tied to wealth, access, physical appearance is not high value. Instead, she prefers the term high demand. Now, she acknowledges that a wealthy and attractive man is highly sought after by many women, but the true value is an entirely individual measure.
Boy,
It
you
is.
your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
Then she started to go into detail. She said the importance of showing up. You see, it's not really what a man has or if he's good looking. What's really important is, does he actually show up for you? Because you can be incredibly wealthy or physically attractive who fails to be present or supportive, holds no real
Of
value
course.
in your life. Then the best part came when she said, men act with an inflated sense of superiority, walking around with an S on their chest solely based on their money, fame, or looks.
Which is exactly what she was doing.
I run a whole company.
There we go. There we go. Thank
Now,
you,
what
Oshay.
is Kendra G guilty of here?
Be careful around someone who keeps changing what they want from you the moment you actually deliver it. This is called the moving goalpost. It's a control tactic used to ensure you can never fully satisfy them, which keeps you in a constant state of striving, anxiety, and self-doubt.
Like a hamster on them wheels, bro. Like a hamster on that running wheel. You just keep going. It never stops. It just never stops, bro.
aren't
And
failing.
but that's just women as a whole, right? Like I just think some women are just never satisfied, dog. They're just never satisfied. Chalk it up to the game, bro, and leave that the moment you start feeling it's draining. Same sentiments.
Game was designed so you can't win.
Yeah, see, Kendra G is moving the goalpost.
Because truth of the matter is, bro, from what I understand, is money can get you the girl, bro, but character is what keeps her, you know, and which I think is unfair because what people do for money, it jeopardizes their character. Some of them, or a lot of them, right? I can picture myself, man. Like I can tell you this right now, my nigga. Let me tell you something right now. Chat, let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna tell you something right now, nigga. You better hope I don't make it, because when I do, I'm gonna act like I don't know you motherfuckers. I'm being for real. Chat, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Like, you better hope I don't make it, nigga, because the moment I do, nigga, I'm gonna act like I don't know you motherfuckers. I ain't gonna pick up your phones. I ain't even gonna remember your names. Shit, nigga, who the fuck is you? Damn. What? Where you know me from, nigga? What? Used to go to school together. What? Man, suck my dick with that bullshit, bro. Act like I seriously don't know. When I get on, nigga, it's up, bro. When I'm up, nigga, fuck y'all. I don't know none of you niggas. Oh, man. I just have to do that. I just have to you can click
Number one, this is a very terrible thing because it shows a disparity if you're having a relationship with Kendra G. Number one, she can obviously do things and be considered high value, and let her tell it, she can be high demand. She can exist in this duality of nature, if you will. In her mind, both characteristics are part of her own attribution, which is most likely false because she isn't the one that can decide this, somebody else does. But let's say for the sake of argument, these characteristics are within her attribution. The fundamental question is, well, when she was describing herself, why didn't she say that I will show up for a man?
Yeah,
If
no,
a
like
man is
you know what? What really also gets me is this, bro. Yo, if it's just me or not. You know, a lot of women state their demands, bro. They state their demands. They tell you what they want, but you never really hear what they offer, what they can reciprocate. Like, listen, I don't mind if you have a grocery list of bullshit, right? I don't mind if you have a grocery list or a freaking laundry list or whatever the hell you want from a nigga. But like, what do you offer for every requirement that you give? And I'm saying you gotta offer something of equal value, right? Like, you never state that. You never state what you bring into the table. And I'm not saying it's a table or anything, but I mean something's got to give, bro. Something has really gotta give at this point, because you can't just be out here freaking saying you want this and he must be 6'6". Why you gotta be 6'6"? Girl, you ain't nothing but 5 foot. You ain't nothing but 5 foot, maybe 5'2". Shit, I know a girl that's about like I'm about like what, 5'7". I'm average height, and this girl's like she like 5'8", maybe 5'9". She taller than me. Shit, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? You know, like, what the fuck she want to do? I'm just saying, you gotta have, like, you gotta at least mention, like, why is that complimentary? It looks good. There's this reason for an aesthetic. We look good to the public, and then you start realizing how shallow they are. That they look for these guys with high value just because it looks good on Instagram. And I honestly don't understand. Listen, like my friend said, dude, he said, there's no life without vibes, but vibes are not life. You know what I mean? You just can't be doing all this stuff because it looks good on social media, girl. There's some things that don't belong on social media in a relationship. Not everything belongs on there. Okay, so stating that you want a high value man and all these demands and stuff, but what do you bring? How does it complement your character, and what is your character? And they never state that. They never really state what they offer in return. You know what I mean? They just say, nah, offer me and my support. You can suck my dick with that support, bitch. You know what I mean? What if I don't need your support? You feel me?
valuable. She didn't say that. She didn't say, you know what, I'm the kind of woman that I don't want to deal with anybody who's not going to show up for me and has real value in my life. No, what Kendra G led with was materialistic things. I have a business. I'm rich.
Right.
I got money.
Exactly.
I don't need a man. But really, if a man is talking like that towards her, she's offended by it because now you're high demand and you're not high value. But clearly, her talking about herself, she's high value, but you are not, because you're walking around with the S on your chest while she can walk around with the S on her chest. And so now think about what's going on here at this Essence Festival, where you have so many black women that are in the audience and they're looking for this high value man. And then if they can't get the high value man, they'll just demote him to a high demand man, which still works too, because they can't get a high value.
I want to hear the response though. I really want to hear the response.
And the reason is because nobody wants to deal with people who are hypocritical. You know, every relationship is about parity.
The crazy thing though, to be honest, right? To be a hypocrite is to be human. To be a hypocrite is to be human. My only issue is you gotta be self-aware about it though. You know, I can tell you, bro, the things that I believed when I was a kid have definitely changed now. Like, I'm singing a totally different tune now. But it's human, right? It's human. But I guess sometimes it gets irritating when it's very closely related. Like, my nigga, like, you'll see a nigga switch up right there and then. You know, it's not like he learns a lesson or anything. It's only when it's them involved in the shit, things are different. But when it's us involved in it, we're graded by a different scorecard. It don't make sense. You know, it doesn't make sense at all. Yo, see, it's even a hypocrite, right? Like, look, I started the whole thing criticizing Kendra G, but then I didn't end it off by saying I understand what Kendra G's doing, And I think we give women a lot of leeway for that shit. And because with guys, I don't tolerate that shit, bro. With guys, I don't tolerate like hypocrisy. But women's hypocrisy, which is way more deadlier. Maybe because I'm attracted to women more. It just seems unfair, and I get it. It's wise to change your mind. But you gotta acknowledge it. Say, hey, I stand mistaken from what I said before. I wish to amend what I said, and I wish to say this is my new belief now, and I kind of understand how you feel based on the fact that I'm now on the other side of the coin. You know what I mean? Like, hear me out, bro. That's what I understand from it. But it's whatever, though. It's whatever. Keep on keeping on. And it's this hypocritical nature that could probably be keeping a lot of us single right now. You know what I mean? So.
Parity usually doesn't come down to money. Parity typically comes down to effort. Meaning that if I desire something from you, then I should be willing to give that of myself that I'm asking you to give.
Exactly.
And that's typically where we can go.
I think that's where we at right now. And I think, back in the 60s and back in the earlier days where, women would be the stay-at-home partner. Once they started getting something to the workspace, things changed, bro. Like, really, the design of the modern household is very different now than what it was back in the 80s. We can't be traditional no more. The word traditional has got to be amended. We've got this new tradition now. So this is the new traditional method kind of thing. There's such a variety of things. You can choose to be a stay-at-home mom if you have a working husband who's making enough for both of y'all. But it's not going to get rid of the conflict. We're never going to reach peace over here, bro. The gender wars have been going on for years, bro. For eons, in fact. So, I don't know where I sit on it. I'm just a guy who just tells you how the game's played and what to expect. And you could ask me whether are men and women equal or so. Hey, bro, there's things that we can do. There's things that women can do that men can't. There's things that men can do that women can. So what I mean to say is there's things that men can't do that women can, and there's things that women can do that men can't. So it's a whole balance of things, right? So that's what it is now, and I think we need to start acknowledging that right now and start teaching that equally. And we need to start preaching that. We cannot go with this, female must be this and men must be that. We can't do that. Everything's so blended because I've seen, look at the woman who earns more than her husband, right? And especially when you look at maintenance court or divorce court, once the man starts claiming alimony from the woman, boy, that equality shit goes out the window. It goes out the window fast. You know what I mean? She says, no, but he's a man. He can definitely, you know what I mean? Forgetting that maybe that man who helped support your dreams and you being successful, he helped build a home for you too. He played a different role. Everything is, you know what I mean? When you hear a woman who has money and she's the one supporting her partner, you actually see that. One could actually say she ends up talking like a guy. But then when you realize that it's just all about positioning, right? It's where you position in the relationship. It doesn't matter the gender. The one with more money is obviously seen as the provider, and they have to maintain things. The one who earns less will probably be seen as the supporter, and they have a reason why they chose to be the supporter because, hey man, sometimes life is good, bro. Life is good. Be your wife's cheerleader if you have to be. If you're a wife, be your husband's cheerleader. You know what I mean? Play your role in the relationship, and I think every relationship is nuanced. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's more similar traits and maybe similar things. Like everybody knows the person with less money is probably not heard the most or not respected the most, which we need to address. We need to address that social issue. Just money is not the pinnacle of who you are, bro. Life happens, bro, and money comes and goes, but character stays. Character is what you learn to be, and it's very hard to change a character. Very hard. There's habits that I know I'm trying to drop, which I still slip into this day. Like I speak fast. I have high anxiety. So it's all this, bro, and these things can affect me in relationships. So it's hard to unlearn that shit. So that's why I say character is way harder to change. Money comes and goes. You can change clothes, but there are things that you can't change or you'll have a tough time changing, such as your height, your race, and some habits that you've developed. and they gotta accept you in all your glory, both your pros and your cons. You know what I mean? So, and it works on both ends. So you gotta find the middle ground, and at the end of the day, if you find love, bro, more power to you. But if you're gonna base your love based on materialistic things which can vanish in the blink of an eye, you know, when my dad had cancer, that changed the whole dynamic, bro. If you want to see that your family got money, man, get cancer. A chemo session gonna run you flat, bro. And imagine you have to do this for almost a year or more. You know what I mean? Like shit, bro. Cancer's expensive. All right, cancer's expensive to treat. You see the true your financial standing when you have cancer. You will see how that affects you. And yeah, man, that's all I got to say on it.
Or parity, because if I get with a woman, she most likely will not work as much as me or even look to earn as much as me. But if I expect certain things from her, then I have to live my life in a certain way. But Kendra G would like to live her life in a certain way, while the other person doesn't get to live their life in the way that she is. And ultimately, what that is called is exploitation. And when you can tell that some man is in an exploitative relationship, it's typically where a woman is older and the man is younger and he makes less money. Kind of what you're seeing with Tia Mowry and her boyfriend, or Kendra G,
of course,
and the little scamming dude that she was with. And that's the leverage play.
See, that's the thing as well. Kendra G can't speak on relationships. The girl dated a scammer, bro. Okay, it's not like you broke up with somebody that was on your level or somebody that was really doing okay in life. You know, you were dating a scammer, of all things, a freaking scammer. And you out here trying to talk about relationships and how high value man and how high value this. Girl, you can't even make the right choices. You know what I mean? You can't even make the right choices. And you want us to look towards you for relationship advice? Not 110%, but if you also admit your flaws, which she doesn't, you know. So get it together, Kendra G. Get it together. All right. I stopped listening to her the moment I discovered that. Or like her dating show is crazy, man. Her dating show is crazy. Like it just attracts like some of the worst women out there. Like it's literally, hey, the worst women of the world, let's all meet here. You know. Like, come on, man. You know, like, and even some of those people on that show get finessed. You know, surprisingly, I actually met a girl from that myself. I actually did. It's crazy. She's crazy too. Honestly, she is. She was crazy. So yeah,
That works out because you never get parity because you don't get parity. So the only thing you deal in is disparity. And then you have these women going around and then they kind of move the goalpost when they can't get the guy. And they move the goalpost by talking about how good they're doing, how wealthy they are. And then when the guy is out there that has all the demand when they don't, well, then now he's no longer high value. He's now high demand. Then the goalpost moves again. Well, you're attractive or you're financially successful or actually you above my level. But you know what? You have character flaws because you're not where you need to be because you're not trustworthy. But then if you don't have any of that, then your penis is little and you're broke and you can't handle a real woman like me. So it doesn't really matter what a black man has or what a man has in general.
You just can't make him happy, bruh. That's all I gotta say.
You'll just move the goalposts anyway because that's all a part of the plan. And a lot of women do stuff like this and that is fine.
I don't actually really get it though. You know, I don't get it, bro. I know that they say you gotta watch what the woman does, right? That is true. You have to watch what the woman does. But at the same time, I don't know, bro. It's as if they have this public perception that they want you to have of them, right? They want you to perceive them as these people, but behind that scene, bro, you might find that this chick likes ratchet dudes. She likes ratchet niggas. She likes hood niggas. She likes niggas that you wouldn't expect to see in the boardroom. And that's who she want to get down with. But she won't admit that publicly, you know? And that's a true desire at this point. And I think some women just need to, you know, take off the veil for a minute. Be real. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's sleeping alone in bed, right? You're the one alone with your thoughts. You're the one that has your desires. You ain't got to impress us. Like, we're not there with you. You know what I mean? I don't know, bro. That needs to be looked at.
It's important to understand that you just can't win with somebody who is broken. And obviously there's so many women out there you'll hit the target for the majority of women. It's Kendra G who's covering ground, trying to move goalposts, and the only game that she's playing is with herself. So many ladies go out here and play their own game only to lose in the end.
Exactly.
So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Oshay Duke Jackson, back at it again.
You can't make him happy. You'll never be able to make him happy. That's all I gotta say, bro.